fresh out the box. Stop, look and watch. Ready yet? Get set. It's all that.
Y'all know the vibes, OD Vibes with me too live. Your favorite music influencer from the one and only Boston, City of Champs, because all we do is win. And I'm in my favorite city literally in the USA. Y'all know the vibes, LA. And I'm here today with Jimmy.
Swag.
I just feel like low-key, like when it comes to USA, swag was low-key kind of, I don't say like LA makes, you know, the swag in the USA like stand, but like I don't know, like
I just say it because I ain't got nothing better to say.
Period. And for y'all that don't know, the first time that I came to LA was literally 2 years ago, and it was because I was featured in Jimmy's video. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And it's like honestly, definitely have came a long way from bubblegum. For sure.
Yeah. Should I grab it? Okay. Yeah. That was, because that was that's crazy that it's been 2 years now.
Literally.
Bubblegum was cool because that was the first time I really, like, you might not have understood and seen it, but I fucked up the shoot. Because, like, I didn't, like, plan it good at all. Like, it was supposed to be like a whole storyline to it and stuff, and I was supposed to like do this whole other thing, but like I planned it so poorly that I thought I could shoot it all in one night, but it ended up being like something I would have had to take like multiple days on. So it ended up being good, but it was like it was supposed to be way better. But I just used what was it called, Backstage, and I was just like trying to figure out people who would like work with me for free and like work for pizza basically, because I didn't have enough money to like pay everybody.
Right.
And that was tight that you ended up coming, because you ended up being like someone that was pretty cool. So it's been tight. Yeah, it's 2 years now. That's crazy to think that was 2 years now.
Facts. For real. And I'm a big person on like, I believe in connections. I also believe in like taking opportunities and stuff like that. And I was just telling someone on my last podcast, like, so I was supposed to graduate that May. And I was saying to myself, like, if I don't graduate, like, I want to be in LA. And I was saying that like a couple years before when that happened, wasn't thinking about it. But then like, you know, obviously I'm trying to do acting stuff. So that's why like I'm on Backstage as well too. So like when it just all felt so aligned to me, like for real, it just all felt so aligned. And it's kind of like how you're talking about like the whole bubblegum didn't go the way you planned it, but it like still came through. Same thing with me, like I wasn't really planning to be in LA at that time, but like boom, like God's plan, like here I am, there, boom. So bubblegum, you know, was the time in the past, but it wasn't your first music video. How did you even get started into like music, and like what inspired you to pursue this career?
I won't go super duper deep into it, but pretty much when I was like 15, I was just like, this is probably what I'm gonna be into. A lot of people I ended up liking musically just ended up making me think more that way. And like my brother was doing music, and he was going to like LA film school and shit. And he graduated that summer, and I was like, well, he's doing it. And like, I obviously I didn't know what like he had going on, but like in my head I was like, he's actually doing stuff, and like he's working with this guy, and it looks like it's a fun thing to do. It sounds like something I want to get into. He was scoring movies and shit. He scored the Scott Pilgrim versus the World movie for a class assignment. And they took all the sound out of the movie and made him rescore every single thing that happened in there. And just that alone, I was like, wow, that's actually crazy. I never thought to do anything like that. So pretty much that's how I got started, was just seeing him do his thing, and then like getting into like people like Odd Future and Donald Glover and like all those guys. And I was like, yeah, I think this is it. And like, you know, my family has like always been in this weird kind of space where it was like we weren't always doing the best. So I was like, if I'm gonna get us out of here, this is my solution to that, you know. So, and that was something I decided at 15. So now it's just I've been figuring it out as on the fly, you know.
Right. Right. And clearly it's working. And in general, pursuing a music career, obviously, like, you know, there's so many bumps in the roads that can come, and there's just so much stuff that, like, because it's not like even though it's like it's presented, but like to actually, like, in a sense, reach that high level, sometimes it's like there's so much that you have to, like, in a sense, go through. So yeah, you mentioned that, like, you know, your family wasn't always like at the best place, and you talk about it in your music, and you're just real and vulnerable about that situation. And I feel like that's good because, you know, there's a lot of people that in a sense go through that and they can connect through your music. So how did you manage to stay focused on your music while dealing with the issues, in a sense, that your family was going through?
It was pretty much, well, it was two things. Mainly, it was like, there is no other option. Like, this is just who I am. Like, it just ended up becoming like, this is me. Like, this is what I do. I'm a fish. I swim. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was like, there's really no other option for me in the world, to be honest. This is just something that chose me, you know. And the other is just because it was just really fun to do. So I always just tried to figure out how to get back to that, even when shit got, like, really bad, like, at the lowest of points. I was like, all right, well, how do I shape this into making it not bad anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always, that's the buffer. Like, I never been like, okay, like, maybe I should do this over here and then come back, and then, no, it was like, there's no other option. You do this, there's no plan B, you go towards that, and since it makes me happy, it really shouldn't really feel like work. It just should feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? And that's pretty much how I just lived my life for, like, the last however long I've been making music. I guess we're about to be at 10 years now, so, yeah.
Period. Key to life is definitely happiness, very much so. So, yeah, like, definitely there is growth, though. Definitely growth. Because now, you know, it's almost like manifestation kind of in a way, kind of, because it reminds me of on one of your songs, how you were trying to get a review from a guy. I trust me, I watch the episode every week it drop, but, like, some of the people I might not know, but like, you know, it's just cool to see how, like, boom, it actually happened. And also, like, I remember, like, I don't know, Ice Cube even, like, cosigns you in the sense of, like, you know, that recognition. So it's kind of like, it's coming, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's definitely coming, and it's definitely, like, piecing itself together. So why do you feel like, in a sense, like, it's kind of happening? Do you think it's because of, like, you know, how creative you are, in a sense? I mean, obviously you're creative, but it's like, do you think it's because of the creative points? Do you think it's because of the strategic not algorithm, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, before we move on, the Ice Cube thing, I got him on Cameo. Do you know what Cameo is? So Cameo is this website. You can literally, like, there's, like, a bunch of celebrities. They come on and they leave sometimes. You got to see what's going on the catalog at the time. You pay them to, like, say whatever you want them to do. You can tell them to, like, plug your shit or whatever. And I really kind of did it as a joke because the song is called Riverside, and he's, like, from South Central or some shit. And I just thought it would be funny to have him shot. I thought it would bring more, like, attention to what we were doing at the time. And it did. It was just funny. I ended up getting, like, 3 of them. It was him. I got one from Dennis Rodman that I never posted. And then I got one from Mia Khalifa that I never posted. And it was for my friends. They wanted the Mia Khalifa one. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to say that because I've never told anyone that yet. But back to your question. While all of this is happening, I'm pretty sure it's a couple things, mainly that the music video for Uncultured pretty much just, I knew where I fit in. I knew where I could fit in to, like, hip hop right now, where I could fit into the music world right now, and I knew where I wanted to be. So I pretty much just took all the artists that I knew of that shaped me, you know what I'm saying, or I listened to at one point, or was essential to the realm of hip hop I feel like I belonged in, and basically just played dress up as them for a video just to get a point across with the song. The song itself is pretty much like a commentary on hip hop and shit. So I was like, if you want to listen to me, listen to the people you already listen to telling you these things. It's just me with their mask on, you know. And people really gravitated to that because it was just something that I know that people don't know me, but they know them. So they seen that and they were like, oh, that's tight. Who's the man behind the mask? Tight. Okay, cool. I'm going to see what else he has going on because obviously he knows what he's talking about. He knows what's going on in our scene. And that with some like good timing with the Anthony Fantano thing and, you know, just me figuring out how to brand myself and put out narratives myself without having to need like a PR firm. Mm-hmm. All of it kind of played into each other. The whole rollout kind of made the whole world come together, you know? That was very long, I'm sorry, but you asked one question. I went on for like 2 minutes.
No, you're all good because sometimes I ask questions and they're just so long as well. And honestly, I feel like what in the sense you're embodying is definitely like how to like brand yourself in general, like even down to the Ice Cube thing and all that. Yeah. Like I still feel like at the end of the day, it's connections though. Because it's like obviously like it's still in a sense authentic because what sometimes artists and people don't understand is investing in yourself. Yeah. So it's like I know you understand investing in yourself because like obviously we see it through the quality of your work and like, you know, like how you understand like how to be yourself, and you export that out. And then on top of it, literally you have to like literally put money into like what you want to do, like literally no handouts because there's not gonna be no handouts anywhere. So
I will say though for this rollout specifically, the last one, I mean the Ghetto Land rollout, I didn't spend any money on anything that time, and all the other times you were there for when I did have money and I was spending money on shit. Okay. And I put all the money into that, and I had another rollout I've done I put a lot of money into that, and I've just like paid for ads throughout the years and shit, trying to like move shit. Mm-hmm. I didn't pay for anything this time, and it gave me the most results I ever got, and it was just all of me being able to like convey my story to people a lot easier, and that's what made people fuck with me more, is because it was all authentic. But also at the same time, it felt kind of like weird to him. I got so many comments of people just being like, this guy has to be an industry plant because he's fucking putting out all these, he's putting out a TV show and he's putting out this and that. There's no way he's doing all this shit himself. And it was like, that part made it seem almost inauthentic to some people. But when people really figured out like, oh, this guy's the real deal, wow, okay, it hit even harder because not only was it shocking, it was real. You know what I'm saying? Literally. So, yeah.
Honestly, that reminds me of like manifestation and like God is real, and you know, like their time and place is everything. I don't know, I just feel like God just like, we have our own plans. We think, oh, things are gonna go one way. Yeah. And then God sometimes shows us like, no, I got something better for you. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Exactly. And it also reminds me of like even an interview that I was watching about some lady who was constantly in a sense trying to pursue something, trying to do this, that, that. Mm-hmm. Then one day just almost like in a sense relax and just try to do something. Mm-hmm. And then boom, that was the thing that really generated like what in a sense was her mission, what was for her. Exactly. So that's so dope. And I just like love to hear that. And it's like, the fact that you didn't give up though, because you know a lot of people, they would just say like F this, but it's like it's also like confidence because you kept saying.
Yeah, I said fuck this multiple times. It's just stupid as fuck.
Right, but honestly, like I said, like I just remember though you kind of being like you always would say though like I'm gonna like one day this like it's gonna happen for me. And I feel like that mindset, though, is important to have because clearly it exported out and it happened. And I also just want to bring back one point a little bit about, like, the Ice Cube thing. And I feel like the thing is that, like, Ice Cube, though, is he invested in you too. So it's not just like, oh, you paid whatever, because it's like he could have declined it if he didn't feel some type of connection to it. So that it's still, even though like even that a joke. Well, look.
He seen it was Riverside, so he was like, oh, it's somebody from Cali. Okay, I'll help him out probably. I think that's how it went, because that was the first thing and the most thing he talked about. He was like, yeah, I used to go through Riverside sometimes, like, and I was like, yeah, that was cool. Because I didn't ask him to say none of that. He threw in his own little extra thing on top of what I told him to say. So he was obviously invested in it to a degree.
Period. And that's what's up. That's what's up. Because, you know, Ice Cube, he a little legend, you feel me?
Yeah.
Today was a good day. Okay.
I thought my dad was Ice Cube when I was younger. He looked like him, especially when he was younger. My dad he doesn't look like Ice Cube. Let's get that out the way. But when I was younger, and I seen Friday for the first time. I thought he was Ice Cube, and I thought my mom was Nia Long. And I was watching the movie like, oh, that's my dad, because he was in jail. I'm thinking like, oh, when he gets out, we're good then, because he's Ice Cube. And then I realized, I was like, hey, my dad ain't Ice Cube. What the fuck? You don't look nothing like the movie when he got out. It was funny.
That's funny. So you talked about, like, you know, your brother being in film school and stuff like that and being inspired by that. And it's so dope to have that type of inspiration. Obviously, like, your family has always supported you with your music. Like, I seen them in your music videos and stuff, like when you do the live performance and stuff like that. So how is their, like, perspective on, like, what you're doing now and stuff like that? And how do they feel?
Yeah. They've always loved it. Yeah, they've always liked it. And especially when they found out I was actually good at it. Like, it's one thing to, like, have someone, like, support you if you're, like, bad. That's real love, too. Kind of, in a way. I don't know, if you were bad and someone loves you, they're probably going to tell you that you suck or whatever. But when they found out I made music, I kind of hid it for a little bit, because I didn't want to tell them till I was good enough to, like, show them something, or if I had, like, an album ready for them. When they first found out, they were just, like, really happy about it, because they was like, oh, wow, tight, you're actually really good at rapping. And now it's just been, like, I'm kind of like all the bets are on me right now. They're like, oh, yeah, for sure. Like, they already were thinking that, but they were like, it's all been confirmed by what I've been doing lately. And they've just been supporting. Like, my brother send me money sometimes and shit. And my dad is rooting for me. He be sending me shit from all over the internet, trying to, like, he be sending me shit I already know. Like, it's funny because he'll be like, see, look at what Whoopty Whoop did with his record deal. And I'll be like, Father, that was like 3 years ago. Everyone knew that happened. But they're all fully invested in the career. At one point, though, my dad, when I first like kind of made the decision, like, nah, this is what's going to happen. I was in college, and I ended up dropping out in May of 2017. And first he was like, oh, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, you're going back to college. You're going to be an engineer or some shit. Like, we're not doing this shit. You're not about to bank it all on a fucking rap career. Right. And then, like, a week later, he was like, okay, I'm building a studio at the house. What will these speakers do? Will these be cool for you? I was like, okay, he's on board now. And my mom, she was just always like for that shit. She was like, yes, this is tight. I actually want to help you with it. And she was actually the first person to take me to a studio. It wasn't like a whole studio, some guy's house, and he had like a studio set up, but she actually took me to a studio. She didn't know I made music yet, but she recorded a song in front of me, and I was never ready to see her record a song before. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so inspirational, you know, to have that support and then be able to, like, you know, almost like be the GOAT in the family as well, to continue to bring that legacy out, you know?
Once I get in, everybody will get in.
Period. Heard ya. So what are your future plans, in a sense, to, you know, with your music career in the future, and also as well as still staying true to your artistic vision?
Pretty much my whole thing that going forward is just trying to figure out how to get people to, like, open their minds to moving forward with this whole discussion of music. And sometimes, and then I know that it starts with like people first. Like people have to feel like they can even do that before they even do it. Like I know with this album that I'm coming out with, Do What Makes You Happy, and with Ghetto Land too, it's all supposed, that's me starting at the person. Like Ghetto Land was just like, hey, what if you could change something about this world? What would you change? Like what would you think? This is what I think I would want to live in. And with this one, it's like, okay, now that you know you maybe can do it, all right, what makes you happy? Like, what makes you want to do any of this shit? Like, okay, and when you do it, what do you want to change? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the next album will probably be like, all right, now that you know what you want to change, and now that you know what makes you happy, and now you're out there going to do it, let's figure out how to kill all white people. No, I'm just playing. But no, but basically just probably figuring out what the next step is, because really all it is going towards is trying to get people to feel a little more free.
I like that. And before we close out, what are some like good vibes of wisdom to give to the world? This could be to upcoming artists. This could be to, you know, people who, in a sense, have been homeless or in similar situations to you, who, whatever. This could be to, yeah. Gosh.
I low-key don't have no advice, because everything is really like individual. Like, I know for me, I ended up being able to learn how to do a lot of shit on my own, and I learned it how to be a one-man show. And obviously not everyone is going to be interested in doing that too. Like a lot of people, not even that they can't do it, it's just that they really don't want to. It's like you might not even want to learn how to film your own videos and shit like that. But generally, I guess, as far as like, even if you don't do music, whatever you're trying to do, just live honestly and like unapologetically, and like figure that shit out, whatever, like no matter me, like what's the word, how does the saying go? No matter what means necessary. I don't fucking know the phrase, but do it. Yeah, do whatever you're trying to do and figure that shit out unapologetically, because at the end of the day, when you die, you're gonna look back, you're gonna be on your deathbed looking back at the shit, and you're like, did I spend my time doing what I wanted to do? You know what I'm saying? And if you aren't doing that right now, and if you feel like you want to do something and you're not being allowed to do that, it might be an extreme sometimes that you might have to be like, fuck everything I got going on right now. I'm going to put all my attention onto this and figure that shit out. And that's what I think you should do, especially if you're young. But if you have like kids and shit like that, I don't have that advice yet, because I don't have that problem yet. And I would suggest you just don't do that with kids around, unless you can do both. Don't leave your kids unattended, okay? But yeah, pretty much just go out there and be somebody.
Period. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for, you know, sharing your story, showing us that, you know, anything really is possible. So yeah, peace.